We are here because it is our responsibility to care for these children. And I'll just share our project that we started in 2013. We call it Ntuthuko Stimulation Center, which is a center that caters for our children with special needs. We cater for children between 1 and 12 years of age, and we take both physical and intellectual disability. It is based in Soshanguve, which is a low-income area, but so far we've been surviving. Yes, and the main reason for this organization was really just to bring service to the community. And I was very frustrated for about 2-3 years because every child that comes to clinic, we want to know if this child is in school. And the reason every time you hear, no, the child is not in school because it's too far, transport is a problem, or the criteria doesn't meet, and many other reasons. So I just wanted to find out why is it so difficult to have schools that will actually cater for all of these children. That's why we said at our school, we're going to cater for all of them. And as they develop, we can promote them to a school that is actually better, higher functional for them. Okay, I'll just go through that. It's just us. And we are an award-winning center. We got the National Best Early Childhood Development Program for Children with Disability, which is under Social Development and the National Developmental Agency in 2017. And this is not because we are so special, but it is all because of the love and the passion that we have for the children. And for every visit that the Department of Health will come, the reception that they will receive from staff is always exceptional. Okay, and most of our population, 90% is cerebral palsy. And as I said, we accommodate the intellectual also. Our ADHDs are there. We've got Down syndrome, all these other ones. Okay. And again, looking at our community, we always think that when people are in the suburbs, they have information, which is not true. And going through this project, we've realized that there's so much more that still needs to go into the community. That's why we also have so many other problems involved, because people are not well informed, and the little bit of information that they will get, they will run with it, even though it's not always the right information. So we want to bring awareness to the community, being schools, churches, wherever we meet people. Okay, so I'll just go through that. And with every NGO, we know, every organization, you must be registered. Your administration work must be on par. We deal with these children already. There is a problem. There is a medical condition. And if they come to this organization, that is not recognized, we're causing more problems again. So we are well recognized by the Department of Health. Social development, we are under environmental health. Our local councillors and emergency services in our area, and the police, which is the major important aspect in us, because if you are in this community, we know in our communities there's always strike. We always fear for our children. So if we know that there's a notice that came out that tomorrow there will be possible strike, our police assistants will let us know. And if there is a way that they can patrol our kids coming into the school, because it's always difficult to tell the parents, okay, tomorrow is strike, child mustn't come. So we're depending a lot on our police service assistants. And you must always be identified. When the parents come, they want to know, are you registered? And it's always a bit offensive if the parent comes in and say, do you have papers? But it's true, it's their right. They must know that my child is in a right and a safe place. So we are fully registered. And I also encourage that you must be visible. If we say now, here is an organization, the service is here, who are we talking to? We need to go out to our colleagues at the clinic levels. We need to do schools, and we're doing churches, and there's lots of social clubs going on in our communities, so we spread the word, in the social clubs as well. And we were privileged to be part of the community radio station that they allowed us to advertise and just inform people of what services we offer at the center. And volunteers, which are my pillars. It was a bit difficult to get a stable structure, because if you start now an organization, you tell people, we all need to volunteer. People are hungry. And now you're telling them, we don't have anything, but all we need is your heart. All we need is your love. But they can't leave home. You want them to come to work, clean. They will ask you now, what am I going to use? I need to bath, I need to eat, which is reality. And you can't always be upset with them when they ask you that question. And it was so difficult to have a constant team of 5 ladies that will be working with you. And there were a lot of training workshops that we had, and I only had those workshops on Saturdays, and you look forward to a public holiday because you know you're going to have 2 days of training, which is not very nice. And you have to build trust. Remember, first of all, I don't know these people. And I'm here to convince them that this thing is going to work. This service is really, really needed. And I have to stand up bold and say, people, you don't know what you're missing. And I also don't even know what I'm missing. But I have to keep positive. And with all these people, none of them had a medical background, or even the child, or in the family. And none of them had or was exposed to a child with a disability. So I had to take them from very, very, very low. And imagine now you have to trust them with medication. Our children, epilepsy, and already is a problem because the mom at home is not compliant. So when they come to the center, you are going to be a scapegoat to say, yeah, well, they don't give my child medication, that's why everything's worse. So we have to do the training from the beginning. And I had to trust them with my life to say, okay, they will comply with this. And I also had to consult with colleagues just to give me a bit of boost confidence so that I do the right thing. And it wasn't easy because I'm the only one in the medical field that I have to do all these things. And imagine if a family member on a Saturday, every Saturday now, they have to go for this training. That doesn't make sense to the family. And I convinced them that all will be fine. And our training workshops, we have people from different areas. There's transport that's involved because we find that the one that's very dedicated will need 2 taxis to get there. I'm alone. I must pay for the taxi with hope that this person is going to stay. And 3 weeks later, they leave. You start again. There's meals involved because if they come there from 8 o'clock until 4, they must eat. I'm alone. Okay, no, that's just the training. And then you are very excited. You get a place, finally, you're looking, and someone says, I can offer you such a beautiful area. Are you ready? So what do I do? Yes, there is a place. I've been praying, I've been crying. Now someone says, there you go. Do I let go? Do I just sit and say it's not the right time? The one speaker said yesterday, if not us, who must do it? So I had to close my eyes, and you can imagine what this did to me and my family, because it's all finances. As a breadwinner at home, I had to make a decision. Not looking at this building today, but looking at the future and what difference this building is going to bring in our children and our profession as health practitioners. And slowly, we went on. Our place got a little bit brighter. And where we are today, and that's us today where they are, and this is their whole building, all on my pocket. So this is their beautiful place that they look forward to every morning, and it's a place that has changed 30 families' lives, because we have 25 kids that are with us actively, and we have 5 part-time, and we've got 10 that's on the waiting list who can't get to us because of transport. And you can just imagine how many more are out there that must still get the weight to say, we've got a facility, we are here for you as parents. You get testimonies that I got a job. We have one lady that just passed matric last year, and that is just so fulfilling to know that whatever you are doing is actually making a difference in the community. And they are looking up to us. And our admission process, because of all these medical problems that we have a protocol that we have in place. Every child will come for an admission assessment. And in that assessment, the whole team will come. And that's where we have to sit with the parents and set realistic goals. Because when they come to us in therapy, they want the child to walk. And then they come to the center for admission, and they have a different goal for the child. So they always like to take chances, and we always, as therapists, want to sit there and make sure that whatever they wish for the child is something that is achievable. But we always have hope. And why we have the whole team in the admission process is so that the caregivers can have a right-hand information on assessment. And if there's any special requirements, whether it's positioning, whether it's medication, administration of medication, that the mother can give the information on that same day. That is just our assessment tool. And what I always also emphasize is that we respect our culture and we respect the religion of these families. And as one of the speakers said, that we need people that are very patient and that can listen. So when we do the assessment, we book the whole day because we can spend 1 hour with one family. And all they want from you is to listen to them. That's all they need. Another thing that we look at is their level of understanding towards the child's medical condition. Because we think they understand when they come to our clinics. Time is not on our side. They can't ask questions all the time. And that's when they get to make follow-up questions during our assessment. Sometimes it's just clarity, but it doesn't always mean they understand what the child is going through. And medication and compliance. This is the biggest challenge. Parents will lie, and then it comes back to us. And this is a risk that I had to take by trusting the caregivers to say you will comply, especially the kids that are taking medication 3 times a day, morning and lunchtime. I'm depending on these caregivers to make sure that they give the correct dose at the right time. So I said previously, every phone call meant life to me, because I wasn't sure if they're calling me because the child was aspirated or the child is having seizures or what is going on. So I was at Steve Biko but at Ntuthuko at the same time. I couldn't miss a phone call. And we had to take videos to make sure that they know how to measure the medication. And with some parents, you ask them, okay, because your child is taking medication 3 times a day, how about you measure? And then you just keep them in one container. And then we mark them when they get to school, morning, lunch, and then according to the doses. No, they won't do it. They'll agree today, tomorrow. No, I'm always late for work, so I don't have time to do those measurements. So they're all depending on us. And this is our assessment setting. As I said, we have the whole team coming, and we set our goals with the parent. That's just a few photos. Okay, and in our place there, the biggest challenge we had was heat. That place is so hot. And if you saw on the previous slide, Wendy houses, they are terrible. And now you have 5 kids in 3x6 Wendy house. It's very hot. And now you're telling these caregivers that, temperature can make the seizures worse. And every time it's hot, they panic their life out. And they will keep telling you, but now we need thermometers because we can't measure what's going on with this child, and this child is sweating, and I'm still at work. Now I must sit there and think, what is going on? And we had to also teach them how to record the episodes. And just to know the different types. If the child, okay, we say the child is fitting, they only know about the drop attacks. So now you have to take them through the other different presentations so that we don't miss. Because when they come for checkups, the doctors want to know how are the fits. The parents don't know. So if we don't have a checklist at the center to give them, to take to the doctors, then they might say, okay, well, at night the child is not fitting. Meanwhile, they had 4 seizures every day at the creche. If we don't help our doctors with daily recording or whenever the seizure happens, it's not going to help the child. We're not doing justice to the child. And day-to-day expenses, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. And our challenge that's still giving me sleepless nights is transport. We have now 25 kids that are coming. We were blessed with a 7-seater Avanza. Thanks, Prof, for all your contribution with the other team. And the uncle is taking 3 loads every morning and afternoon, just to make sure they cover every child that's there. And the first child will be picked up at 4:30. This child is not sleeping. And that child will only get home after 6. Which is terrible. Okay, and under management is very important. I'm glad I had all the talks from the lawyers and the advocates. Record keeping is so important. I had to learn that, okay, from work, but after starting this organization, it made even more sense. Because you agree on one thing with the parent, and then tomorrow it's a complete different story. And we had to teach these caregivers how, in a simple way, but they must know what is happening to this child every day. And everything that they do is recorded every day. And you really need a solid team to run this. Because if I'm there, I'm just on A. Yes, I'm participating, but I don't see what is exactly happening on site. And the general office management, I'm not there. Department of Health will come and they want their reports, social development, all these departments come and they want their reports. So you need someone that will be dedicated and be there for you while you are doing other things, at least trying to make sure that all the files are kept according to the requirements. And as I said, we have 25 learners now and 6 classrooms and 5 caregivers. We've got 1 general assistant and 1 uncle and 3 admin officers. I'm just part-time. Yes, and they've got a beautiful office now from that beautiful first picture. And what we do, we focus on therapy is our main goal. And we've got higher functioning kids that will do school or basic educational activities. So we do on assessments. According to the outcomes, each child will have their individual program, but they will still, on day-to-day, be part of the group sessions. But every week, the caregiver that's responsible for that classroom will know that for Thabo, this week we are focusing on ABC. But in group therapy, Thabo will be part of only A. Okay, that's just us playing. That's there. That's them. That's this Gogo is 75 and she's still lifting them. Right there. And they're happy outside. And we have music therapists that often visit. And that's just our activities. And our higher functioning group will have also their individual programs. Parents' involvement. This I always emphasize. The families are really broken. We know some parents, the dad will leave because now we have this child in the family. And they don't get enough support from their families. And they're relying on us when they come to the hospitals. And hospitals, we don't have enough time to give them that support, that love they are looking forward to. So when now they are with us at the center, we try and make sure that we have support groups. We have workshops that we run with them, and they are actively involved. We have team buildings. This is our vegetable garden. Every year we will have, before our first parents' meeting, we will have a team building activity. And we have support group sessions. And there are the kids now participating in the vegetable garden. And what they did, we had 2 families that had a block for a veggie. So that child or those kids will take responsibility in watering that block. And whenever the veggie come, they will take the first piece at home. So they always compete and look forward to, oh, my beetroot is coming now. Okay, we are eating now from our vegetable garden. And we do different activities with them. Every morning, there will be 2, a little bit higher functioning, that will prepare for their breakfast tables, and then lunchtime, and then another 2 for snack. And then after that, they have to come and wash their lunch boxes. Okay, and community involvement. In the last 3 years, I was, if I can say, with the word that was spread out that we have an organization like this, mainstream schools started sending older kids to us because they didn't understand the differences. So now I got to screen these learners from the information and everything I've learned from our occupational therapists. So I had to quickly do the screening just to see where these kids are. And from that information, I'll write a summary and send it to the school psychologists. Because if you look now, the last screening assessment that I had was an 18-year-old boy that is in grade 7. And now the Department of Education can't kick him out. They need a paper at least to say, okay, you don't qualify anymore. But the school psychologist, the appointment was made in 2014 already. And this child has been going. Until now, they are stuck with him in grade 7. And we do outreach projects with other mainstream crèches where we just want our kids to be exposed and our community to be exposed. Because we say now that this one is on a wheelchair, well, can't play. So we want to bring this thing that as much as they're on wheelchairs, as much as they can't walk, but they can still be on the floor. Whoever is high functioning can come down to you and still play with you. And we do a lot of awarenesses. So this is just us having fun with the staff. And we're visiting the mainstream crèches. If I can just share, this crèche is fully funded for the last 15 years. And they're still in this classroom. So it's not always about money. Whatever you do, if you have passion, you will want the best for your office, you will want the best for your children. If you are fully funded and you're still in this area, it's not safe. We don't say have a double-story crèche, no. But let it be a place where I can say I will drop my child tomorrow. But it's not. So we go there to them, encourage them to say, you know what, you don't have to be a millionaire to have a beautiful classroom. And we share our toys with them. And I also do door-to-door screening in those mainstream crèches. Now they know if there is a child that they feel is not doing well, they will make an appointment, and then we do a screening assessment for that child. If there's a need for transfer to our speech or OT at the clinic, then we will send that child. They don't have to wait until grade 1. And this was us doing our community. And we went to this other crèche where we had those learners and then with ours just to see how they will react when they see them in the same circle. And the teachers were more scared, and these ones were so excited to see my dyskinetic one moving, and they were so excited while the teacher is actually staying away. And that is us sharing. And we also have a good time. We take them out for picnics. We go for social events. Don't worry about the water. We're very careful. And we need to look after our staff. Remember, these people were not trained at all. So if they spend now Monday to Friday, 7 to 6, and they come again on Saturdays for assessments or parents' meeting, whatever activity we have. So we need to get counseling for them. And most of them are old. They need to be, just go out for lunch. Take them out for a picnic. Doesn't cost that much if you plan well. And we need to empower them. This is just us there having lunch. And we went for a music concert. And we had a team of young people that came for a day and said, we are here. You can enjoy your lunch for 1 hour. We will look after the kids. So they need such support. And now we are blessed to collaborate with the universities. This year we're getting OTs and speech therapists from Sefako Makgato. And second semester we'll be getting students in the administration offices from UP. And we had students from TUT Soshanguve doing public relations last year. And this actually makes a huge difference because now no one wants to be part of you unless you're doing something good. So this just says to us, keep up the good work. And I must really say thank you to the neuro team for all your support. I wouldn't have done it if you were not by my side. Thank you so much.